Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. And we're in Chester. So we're taking a driving test now in Chester, Upton, or should I say Ellesmere Port, because it's more Ellesmere Port than anywhere else. So we've got a young lady, Bella, who's taken a driving test. So we're over, as I said, over in Chester. Well, it's more probably Ellesmere Port than it is anywhere else. And then we'll see how she gets on. She did pass, so I'll tell you that before we start anyway. So what will happen is now the driving examiner will now, after they've done the license check, the eyesight check, and then the can you tell me question, and then it's away you go on the driving test. So with the magic of editing, we've just made that silver car just disappear. When you come out of here, it can be a bit awkward because of the traffic that's there. You've got on the left hand side of you can't see it, but on the left hand side there, you've got Costco, that big uh, supermarket, big retail outlet that's there. And then on the left hand side here, we've got Lucas. So we've got that there. It does get busy just here. If the traffic lights here, we've got to turn left. A few years ago, you could turn right here, but they've altered it because they had traffic queues there. It was just absolutely horrendous just there. So here you've got no option. You have got to go left there. Again, through the magic of editing, we've shortened it a little bit and we're turning left. So the driving test now is underway. The driving test will last between 38 to 40 minutes, depending on road and the traffic conditions. It may go over slightly, it may go under. But the main thing is that as long as the manoeuvres are, are done and that the length of time it right on the road has been has been taken care of, then that's all the legal requirement is. So we're going all the way around the roundabout, and then we're coming back down the other side where we just came out of. Because we can't turn right out of there anymore. We used to be able to, but we can't. So again, checking that left-hand door mirror before you move over to the left. Most important, pay attention to it. So the speed limit's altered again. It's now a 50-mile-an-hour speed limit, and away we go. So that's where we just came out of, was that road there that's on the right hand side. There you go. Just make normal progress. I know this sounds stupid, but the driving test is only about can you drive. It's not about acting. That's the thing to remember is just drive the car as you would normally. Don't try to drive excessively slowly to try to impress the examiner. Don't do anything like that. Just drive as you would do normally, as you way you've been taught. Don't try and do anything else. Just drive the car. That's all you've got to do because that's all the driving test actually is can you drive? That's all it is. Okay, so the wipers are there going. Don't know if you noticed there, but the washers went as well. So that's the show me question that they've asked Bella. That is, can you show me please how you would clean the front windscreen? So what they've done there is that they've just asked them to clear the front windscreen. That's all they've asked them to do there. Is just do that. So of course it's just operating the correct control. So you'll need to practice probably that with your instructor anyway, so that you know where it is. It could be anything. It could be the rear window. It could be the heated rear window, demist the rear window, or it could be wind down your window. It could be anything. But the thing is that practice the show me, the tell me questions as much as you can, so that then there's one less thing to worry about. As long as you're competent with it, that's all it is. So we're going to go left at the roundabout here. So remember, mirrors first, your signal, and then your manoeuvre. Okay, so the test is well now underway. You'll find when people talk about Chester and they think about the traffic, they think about all the complicated road layouts, nothing's further from the truth. You'll see from this video exactly what it's like. Bella's keeping well away from the car in front as well. That's a good thing. Don't go anywhere near a car in front, whatever you do. Always keep away from it. So we're following the road straight ahead. Keep your eye on those traffic lights. The worst lights to approach on is a green light. It's the green light that's the worst. The problem is with it is that you could never tell when it's going to change. A red light's probably the easiest one to approach on because it can only change to green eventually. The roads here are quite wide as well. They're not really narrow. They're nothing like what we got around Whitchurch, that's for sure. I mean, you imagine, in some of the places in Whitchurch that I know of, say, for example, like Talbot Street, up the Wrexham Road, where there's full of challenges. But you have a look at this, have a look through this video and see exactly how challenging that it really is. Have a look at it, see what you think. The traffic light there that's just changed, that's for the traffic that's on the left hand side to go straight ahead. What we've got to pay attention to is the traffic lights on the right. So it's just changed, and then away we go. So mirrors, making sure you've checked. That's it. And then mirrors again, especially that interior mirror as you're going down the road. During your driving test, the examiner will ask you to stop on the left-hand side quite a few times. So as all they will do is they'll say, when you can, would you please pull up stop on the left-hand side? So they'll ask you to do that quite a few times during the driving test. What they're looking for is, of course, this mirrors signal maneuver routine. And are you reacting correctly and responding to other people? And are you driving in a way which is courteous to any other road user? So again, pull up stop on the left hand side. So again, mirrors are the first thing there and the signal is the next. So we're going to pull up stop here. This will probably be the angle start by the look of it. Yes. Right. So what will happen is now, would you pull up and stop on the left-hand side, but keep a car's length away from the car in front, which we have done. And then as all it'll be, when it's safe to do so, move away. What you've got to be careful of now when you see this here now is pay attention to what might be coming towards you. So remembering to check over your right shoulder, last thing you do before you move away. It's most important that you understand where the blind spot actually is. You'll need to go over this probably with your instructor, get them to point out exactly where the blind spot is, rather than just a general vague, there could be something there. So that's why you need to check it. It's not good enough. What you need to do is to understand why it is that you're looking over your right shoulder. Not just look over your right shoulder because someone's told you to do so. As I said, get your instructor to explain that one a little bit more in detail. In other words, is why should I? Rather than there could be something there. Yes, there could be something there, but exactly where are you looking and for what reason? So you'll need to go over that. So again, we're off on our way. We've just done the first one. So you'll be asked to stop quite a few times during the driving test. As you can see, the roads around here, whereas, it's not really exactly what I call packed with traffic. Far from it. I mean, you could be driving down, it could be anywhere. It could be anywhere at all. There's just nothing there. Nothing at all. So where we're going to go here? Turning left, are we? So make sure you keep well over to the left-hand side, looking both ways. Are you clear? If you are, continue on your way again. What you're doing is you're just having a look to see if you've got to stop. You're not stopping to have a look. And there's the stationary vehicles. So it's the mirrors before you overtake. Keep your eye on the mirrors, and of course before you move away, check that all-important right-hand door mirror. You never know, you could be overtaken. There could be a motorbike there, could be a car overtaking. It does happen, I'm afraid. So you've got to be paying attention to what's happening. But look at the roads here. I mean, they're not exactly what I call tight. They're not far from it. If you look at some of my other videos, you have a look in, say, Crewe, for example, or sometimes even in Whitchurch. I mean, if you're going down the Wrexham Road or Talbot Street in Whitchurch, there's cars parked everywhere, and you've got to be able to manoeuvre the car out. Whereas here, there's not an awful lot going on. Not an awful lot anyway. The roads are a lot wider here than what they are in other test centres. Okay, so we're going to be turning right here. So remembering the mirrors, the signal that you manoeuvre before you go over. When you're coming up to the traffic lights, remember that if you're pausing for a moment, you don't have to apply your handbrake. But if you're waiting for any length of time, then the handbrake does need applying. So do you have to apply your handbrake everywhere? The answer is no, you don't. But if you're pausing, you don't need to worry about your handbrake. But if a pause turns into a wait, then you do need to apply your handbrake. So we've turned right there. So again, what we've got to be doing is looking in that interior mirror, looking at the back, see what's at the back of you. Pay attention to what's happening at the back. And we're passing these stationary vehicles. What you've got to be doing now is thinking about, is it safe to go through? So Bella there, quite rightly, she's held back. That's fine. It's okay. There we go. Up to the next one. Again, good road position. Okay, you've got a car coming towards you. We've got a gap here. Just hold back. That's fine. That's okay. Well, yeah, we can slow down. As long as we slow right down to virtually nothing, there's nothing really wrong with that, then away we go, because there's plenty of room there. Roads are, quite, as I say, are quite wide. There's the speed humps where we're going over, bouncing around there. You're probably wondering why that van and that car's just overtaken. The reason why that is because the examiner's just said, would you like to pull up and stop on the left-hand side, somewhere that's safe and convenient? So, of course, what usually happens, of course, mirror and then the signal, and that's it, with no real thought as to what's happening. So, what we've done there is we've indicated a bit too soon, really, because our signal is before that junction. So, it would mean there that we're turning left. It wouldn't mean that we're parking on the left-hand side. Now, the thing is with that, is that if anyone reacted to that, that would constitute a fail because they've reacted to it. So you always need to pay attention to what's happening to you at any one moment in time. That's the thing. So the examiner, they will say, would you like to pull up and stop on the left-hand side? So going through that, mirrors first, you signal, and then of course pull up and stop on the left-hand side when you can. No one was there, no one was affected, so therefore, we have got away with it. But it had been a different story if someone had reacted to it. That's the difference. Notice, I don't know if you just noticed there, we've gone wide there, but there was a car parked right smack bang wallop on the corner. So that's why we went wide. We had to, because that's the only place that we could have gone. is on the other side because there's stationary car there. So again, mirrors, and then come back our side of the road, which Bella's done. That's fine. And then before you overtake, mirrors again before you overtake. That's it. Then mirrors again before you come back again. So it's all about paying attention to what's happening around you. Okay, then we're going to pull up stop again. Again, making sure we don't pull up stop straight across someone's driveway. And then it'll be move off whenever you're ready to do so. So that's all you got to do now is move off whenever you're ready to do so. That's all you got to do. Okay, so the mirrors, just, and then look over your right shoulder and away you go. One of the questions that I get asked a lot is, what are the examiners like? There's nothing wrong with them. They're there to do a job. They're trying to keep everybody safe. That's what they're trying to do. They've got a duty of care. They are on your side. They want you to pass as much as what you want to pass. That's the thing. Is all you've got to do is just you do your job and they'll do theirs. It's that simple. That's all it is. But the examiners, certainly, it's nothing like it used to be. I mean, I can remember years ago. I mean, I've been doing this since 1987, so I've been at it a few years now. But I can remember it was very much in the older times when I first started, very much a us and them scenario. Whereas now they have definitely looking at being more customer focused. In other words, they're paying more attention to the candidate and its customers. That's the thing. So they are far more user friendly than they've ever been. They definitely are. So it gets rid of this traumatic effect that you think the driving test is, where in actual fact it isn't. Is all it is you're just two people that are just mutually transacting a line of business. They've got something you want and you've got something that they want. That is, you want that, obviously, that pass, but they want to see a good driving and a safe driving style. And that's all you've got to demonstrate. That's all you've got to do with it, you see. That's the thing. But they're nothing like they used to be. They're not horrible. I mean, as you're driving along where you've got a bit of a straight road where there's nothing going on, they'll probably ask you what it is that you do for a living, or where would you be if you weren't here today? What would you be doing? So they're there, and that's designed obviously to try to calm you down a little bit, but they are on your side and they're there just to calm you down. So I just relax and enjoy the drive round and then just deal with the things that crop up. That's all you've got to do. Okay, there's the stationary vehicles, of course, just mirrors. See, then move over whenever you can. Oh, so right here we're turning right. Then you're going straight ahead again. So again, we've selected the correct lane. If you're wondering why the car there's just turned left, if you just look over, you'll see the filter arrow that's just on the side there. You'll see it. So now we can go now, and it's that filter arrow. So if you approach, say for example, you approach that and you were in the left-hand lane and it's a left-hand lane turn only, and you were asked to go straight ahead and you found yourself in that position where you were in the left-hand lane, well, don't try to go straight ahead, just turn left. That's all you got to do. Don't try to attempt to go straight ahead because you're incorrectly positioned to do that. So what you would have to do is go left. Now you'll be going the wrong way, but you'll be going the wrong way correctly. And that's the thing to remember. These things, I'm afraid, do happen whereby you just end up in the wrong lane. And they do with driving normally. I mean, it's happened to me. Because all you do is just go the way that whereby that lane will take you. And then you've got to go down the bottom of the road, maybe sort it out, turn it round and come back and have another go. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing. It's just that I think that on a driving test, because the examiner said turn right and go straight ahead, come hell or high water, and it doesn't matter what lane you're in, I think you're going to do it anyway because they said so. So what you've got to do is just do what you think is safe, and that's all the driving test is based upon. Is it safe? As you can see while you're waiting here now, in front of you you'll see the traffic light warning signs there. A bit ahead of you you'll see the other triangle whereby it says that the road narrows from the one side. So the idea is it's warning you that you know that the road narrows from the left hand side. So that's why we're moving over to the left now. Okay, so this is where they'll ask you to do a maneuver. So we're turning here onto the car park. So they could ask you to reverse into a parking space, or they could ask you to drive into a parking space. We don't know yet. Let's have a look and see how Bella gets on. But the thing is, she won't know until she gets there. So go and have a look. When you're on these car parks as well, do take your time. There's people around them, left, right, and centre. They're everywhere. They are. So we've been asked to drive into a parking space, and now we've been asked to back out. So what you've got to try to always remember is when you're back in the car, it's looking all the way around you. Pay attention to what's happening all the way around. And then as soon as you're out, just check around you and then move off again whenever you're ready. So that's that manoeuvre done with. So coming back out of the car park again now, and back up out onto the main road again. So that's nearly the test pretty much over, tell you the truth. That's about it. We've got to just make our way up towards the test centre now. So again, when you're coming out of these car parks, when you're in these car parks, please pay attention to these zebra crossings that are there. You'll see it in a minute. So again, getting on your side, but pay attention for things like that. That's what you've got to do. Have a look both sides. Don't just drive off. And as you can see, the roads, they're not exactly congested with traffic everywhere. There isn't. It's nothing like Whitchurch or nothing like Crewe, that's for sure. The roads are quite clear. Okay, so the next roundabout coming up. So we're going straight ahead again. Use the use the middle lane. If it's clear, continue on your way. Keep it into the left-hand side of it. Checking that left-hand door mirror, most important. And away you go. Keeping an eye on the mirrors and reacting to what it is that you see in the mirrors is a key part with it as well, with driving. Understanding what's happening at the back. So back onto the home straight. So we're nearly at the end of the driving test. And then when we come up to the traffic lights that are ahead of us, we'll be turning left anyway. Onto the Chester Gates Industrial Park. Again, before you make your left turn, check the left-hand door mirror. Around you go. That's Booker's that are on the left-hand side. And just further on down is Costco. That's that big, giant American supermarket. And we're going to be turning left now. So that's the end of the driving test. Bella was successful in passing it. There's only a couple of mistakes, nothing much there at all really, but that was it. Pass is a pass. So the examiner now will take you onto the car park and he'll ask you to find a suitable space. So just simply following the road round, taking your time. Remember, get the speed down into first gear, and then they'll probably say, there's one down there right at the very end. Go into that one if you would, please. So right to the very end here, it doesn't matter where the car ends up. If you get it in the bay, you get it in the bay. If you don't, you don't. It doesn't matter. As your test's over. There we are. So we parked up. That's the pass. Thanks for watching. Hope you found it useful.